Thames Water supply is on a knife edge with £23 billion of repairs are needed. We're going to read into this exclusive from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article, an exclusive one from The Guardian, with the headline that Thames Water supply is on a knife edge with £23 billion of repairs needed. The exclusive reveals that the company has failed to tackle serious safety concerns or upgrade vital IT systems, The Guardian investigation reveals. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. So we know, we have been aware for quite some time here, and I'm sure for those who have been paying attention, we know that Thames Water has not been in a very good state. We know that they've been ratting up debts. We know that they've not been in the financial stability whatsoever. However, apparently it becomes even more clear just how little investment, or barely any, that Thames Water have really put in. They really have not bothered upgrading even some of their vital IT systems. It shows just how much they do not give a damn about the company that they own, the owners of it. The investment. It's just literally every single thing that comes in terms of profit. The vast majority just goes towards shareholders. Goes towards the executives. And very, very little goes back into infrastructure. It's at least the bare minimum, maybe, but not even the bare minimum gets done. But even some of the basic safety concerns and IT vital systems that the Guardian here has investigated are not even being looked up. Just tells you just how shambolic these people are, how vile these people are. And once again, emphasizes, I have to emphasize this so many goddamn times, water companies should never have been privatized in the first place. Why would you want to take something that you rely on, water that you drink out of your tap? Why would you leave that in the hands of a private company? It should be run by the state, should be owned by the state, and everybody knows that. And I don't understand why we are not we need to push this more than ever before. You know, I'm all for more things being controlled by the government, being run by the state, because privatization does not work, because everything always comes down to the one thing when it comes to private companies, is their bottom line, their money. They don't care about the taps of your water. They don't care about the water problems that you have. They will, if they could, they would rack up your water bills by 500% if they could. And they know they can get away with it. They don't care. They don't care about you, and they don't care about your problems. They're here to make money and to do as little work as possible for it, at the expense of us, the taxpayer. It's a crap system, and everyone knows it. Thames Water has £23 billion of asset that are in urgent need of repair, and the supply of water to its 16 million customers is on a knife edge, the Guardian investigation can reveal. Britain's biggest water company has failed to tackle adequately serious safety concerns, has not upgraded essential IT systems, and has tolerated a culture of intimidation among staff, according to insiders in an analysis of documents. The investigation suggests that the company is in a worse financial state than previously admitted. What's a surprise? And neither its managers nor regulators appear to have grasped the perilous state of some of its reservoirs and pipes. Well, that's because they don't care. The Guardian has also discovered that key data is still managed on obscure software that dates back to 1989. I was literally a baby then. Sources claim that the company has been subject to cyber attacks from groups affiliated with hostile states, including Russia. Wow, they've even faced cyber attacks. Spokesperson for Thames Water said, "The well-being and safety of our colleagues and customers is our highest priority. Regarding cyber attacks, Thames declined to comment on the record, but a source said the company said it had not experienced any cyber attacks, full stop." Okay. We don't know that for sure. We can only take the Guardian's word on that. The Guardian has spent several months investigating the finances and culture of Thames Water. Sources describe how concerns about the company's governance and operations have been raised at the highest level of management. Yet they claim that the problems have not been tackled, suggesting that the scale of the turnout required at Thames may have been underestimated. Operations have been hollowed out and cut to the bone, a senior source at Thames said. "We're putting the public at risk by failing to invest in the most basic needs." Yeah, like I said, profit before anything else. They added that in their view, management has not moved quickly enough to address problems such as weakening explosive infrastructure, such as containers holding gas produced by sewages and cracks in reservoirs. They said Thames management and their regulator Ofwat has been slow to address these problems, allowing them to escalate. The supply of water to the capital is on a knife edge, insiders claim, saying that the scale of deterioration of Thames critical infrastructure and pressures on its staff have not been grasped by regulators of the company. Thames Water is labouring under £15 billion of debt and said it cannot repay some of its lenders. The company serves 16 million customers across London and the South East. Whitehall sources fear that it will inevitably face a form of temporary renationalisation that will ultimately come at a huge expense for the taxpayer. Leave it in our hands, please. Current and former staff claim that Thames Water finances were so dire that managers tried to block or slow down spending on critical chemicals, forcing them to order water treatment chemicals without agreements from the senior management. Processes had become so slow, with costs above $50,000 being subject to additional checks on senior bosses, that the only way to keep clean water flowing was to proceed without approval, staff said. A spokesperson for Thames Water said, "We take a rigorous approach to financial discipline throughout the company in order to operate within budget, as any business in turnout would expect it to do." Okay, so you say. Several staff also claim there is a culture of intimidation on costs, with management unwilling to approve the necessary budgets. It was impossible to order basic urgent IT upgrades, leaving a key part of the UK's critical national infrastructure exposed to cyber attacks, they claim. Staff claim they had been belittled by senior figures in meetings and correspondence when asked for extra resources. Others claim that after inspecting critical infrastructure such as reservoirs, they were asked by management if they had deliberately manipulated images to show cracks and other signs of deterioration. Wow. So they've gone as far as to try and hide any kind of that stuff, like cracks or things that are starting to go. They've just tried to hide it up. The state of Thames and its peers' debt pipes, as well as the impact on the environment, has triggered public debate over how weak regulation may have allowed decades of exploitive privatisation and financial mismanagement. Thames Water's cash pile is being burned through so far more rapid than it was initially expected this year, sources claim, as repairs have been regarded as critical for the safety of becoming imperative. Thames Water now needs £23 billion to repair its failing infrastructure, sources claim. There are also fears that the figure could balloon further as a catch-22 of regulatory pressures to cut costs and keep bills low comes after years of doing less than the bare minimum, a senior source at the company said. With about £15 billion of debt for its operating company, a total bill poised by Thames being thrust into a form of temporary renationalisation could be as high as £38 billion. However, much of the debt could be wiped out and creditors forced to shoulder losses in such an event. Yeah. Give it to the creditors. Why should we pay for it? Just give it to them. Thames is close to securing a £3 billion debt lifeline without it, which it faces insolvency by Christmas. So by Christmas, we could have no water in London. Yay! The £23 billion needed is an estimate based on a series of reviews of the state in its assets, including the network of pipes and treatments the worksite provides water to 60 million customers. It relies on interviews with water quality experts, IT technicians and health and safety professionals with documents to work out the latest cost involved in urgent repairs. The rate of deterioration across all aspects of the water company's operations has gathered pace, such as previous disclosures of £19 billion in failing assets reported by the company in 2023. It is now regarded as a significant underestimate. It goes some way to explaining the accelerating cash burn at the company, which that led it to warn this autumn that it needed more time to make payments on its debts. Its deteriorating credit rating now breaches obligations under its license granted by Ofwat. While some managers have tried to make changes at the company, many have quit or become disillusioned with the senior leadership team and some board members. Thames Water spokesperson has said, "The well-being and safety of our colleagues and customers is our highest priority. We supply 2.6 billion litres of water every day, rated among the highest quality of drinking water anywhere in the world. We've been very open about the asset deficit we face and the challenges that we have met future demands if it's not addressed. That's why we have set out an ambitious plan for the 2025-2030, which asks us for the £20.7 billion of expenditure and investment with an additional £3 billion through gated mechanisms so that we can meet our customers' expectations and environmental responsibilities. Further, we take our requirements to protect customers' personal data and maintain essential services extremely seriously. We regularly review our systems to ensure that they continue reliability." An Ofwat spokesperson said, "The Guardian has raised a number of serious allegations about Thames Water. We will take action if there is evidence of breach of these company obligations. We've been pushing Thames Water to make significant improvements in its operational performance and financial resistance for some time. It is, of course, essential that all water companies provide a safe and reliable water supply. The company has made a request for a substantial increase in expenditure, including the address of issues of asset health as part of the current price review process. We are reviewing that request and the support information provided. We will announce our final decision in December. It's not looking good, is it, guys? In assessing the business case put forward by companies and in our environmental work, we will work closely with other regulators where needed and seek their views. This includes the drinking water inspectorates in regards to security and cyber measures related to water services, and the Health and Safety Executive and National Cybersecurity Centre on matters relating to safety and cybersecurity. So a spokesperson for the Drinking Water Inspectorate, which regulates water companies, said the Drinking Water Inspectorate considered the provisions of continuous safe supply of drinking water to be the highest priority of water companies. Furthermore, this is a duty under the regulations where there are any circumstances which give rise to a concern of drinking water, the companies are required to notify the inspectorates. Similarly, the water company staff are able to report matters directly to the inspectorates. In both cases, the inspectorates will carry out an investigation and will take action as necessary to maintain the high standards of drinking water in England. The inspectorates carry out a program of risk-based audits to identify, monitor and verify areas of concern and take enforcement actions based on our enforcement policies. So, in other words, they're doomed. They look very doomed, don't they, Thames Water? But we know we've been edging closer and closer and closer. But this investigation by The Guardian really does amplify even more, if we didn't already know, just how effed up things really, really are in Thames Water. It is absolutely shambolic. But these private companies, just like them, just like any other water company that is privately owned here in England, they do not care. They do not care about the infrastructure, about improving quality. They are just doing the bare minimum, the barest of minimum. That's all they want to do, is get the barest of minimum done so that they don't have to, so they can make the most amount of profit for shareholders. Because where do you think all the money that they make goes? Because it doesn't go back into the system. Barely does. They need to be nationalised. Water companies should be nationalised. If it has to come at a cost, then it has to come at a cost. Has to be done, guys. It really has to be done. It's just gone well out of control. And we know it has. It's just absolutely disgusting. So what do you make of this exclusive from The Guardian about Thames Water and the knife edge that they're on? Are you surprised by this? Did you not expect this to be worse off than before? Let me know your thoughts and more down in the comment section below. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button. We'd greatly appreciate it. Share this across social media so others are notified of this video. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing because it really does help support the channel. If you want to go one step further, financially support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.